Good evening, Dr. Arun. Good morning from India.
Good morning, Dr. Natu. How are you?
I'm very fine. Thank you. I'm very happy that we are connected and things are fine.
So far, so good. Thank you.
Do you think we need to check the connections and maybe sharing slides option?
Yes, let me just share my slides.
That would be great.
Yes. Yeah, can you see my slides now?
Yes, I can. Great.
Cool.
Perfect. So we have another 6 or 7 minutes.
Sure.
So if you know anybody who is online, you can just connect and chat with them if you wish to. So yeah, I have a scientific officer to the Dean Postgraduate Studies, Dr. Nirmala, sitting next to me.
Oh, cool.
And she would like to say hello to you.
Good evening, sir, and good morning from here.
Good evening, good morning, and nice to see you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nice that you have joined us for this talk, sir.
Oh, sure, it's a pleasure.
From Dean PJ's office, thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a postgraduate academic activity. Everything is coordinated and organized by the Directorate of Postgraduate Studies.
Okay.
So we are just organizing committee members. So we connect people and rest they do it.
Yeah, we just introduce them. Shall I? Good morning to all the respected dignitaries and my fellow mates present today. Myself Ashwin, Junior MSc from Department of Agricultural Extension, and I will be briefing about the happenings of the past 3 days of our exciting Science Week. Science is not just a pursuit of answer, but a celebration of curiosity and wonder. Here's to the innovation, collaboration, and discovery that will shape the future. Together, let's push the boundaries of what we know and imagine the possibility to be explored. Welcome to the last day of the annual Postgraduate Science Week of inspiring exploration and groundbreaking ideas. As we reach the fourth day of our Science Week, I want to extend a heartfelt congratulations to everyone for the tremendous success of the past 3 days. This successful Science Week started with the inaugural program at Kuvempu Auditorium on 6th of August, followed by the release of compendium of posters and insightful keynote presentations by the chief guest, Professor K.N. Ganeshia Sir, former Dean, USB, and Senior Scientist, INSA Bangalore. We also had 21 oral presentations by PhD scholars and 83 poster presentations by MSc scholars from various departments. The second day, that is 7th of August, started with invited talk by Dr. Ramegowda Sir, Director, Hospital Medicine, Houston, on the topic AI in Healthcare, Potentials and Problems, followed by 38 oral presentations by PhD scholars and 82 poster presentations by MSc scholars from various departments. Then, coming to the third day, that is yesterday, started with the inspiring talk of turning life experience into guidance by Dr. C.S. Prakash Sir, Dean, College of Arts and Sciences, Tuskegee University, Kenny Hall. Oral presentations by PhD scholars followed as 10 presentations from Crop Protection 1, 9 from Crop Protection 2, 5 from Crop Improvement, and 12 from Social Science fields. Poster presentations by MSc scholars followed as 26 presentations from Food Science and Technology Group and 59 presentations from Crop Protection Group, which includes various disciplines, and as well as 27 game-changing startup concepts had been presented pertaining to innovative ideas and technologies in agriculture and allied sectors. As Robert Collier once said, success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Same way, the remarkable success of the first 3 days of PG Annual Science Week has been a testament to your hard work, dedication, and passion for science. The past 3 days have set high standard, and today the presents a new opportunity to push boundaries and explore uncharted territories. Here's to continuing our quest for knowledge with the invited talk by Dr. Arun K. Srinivasan, PhD Professor of Economics, Coordinator for Economics, Finance, and Business Statistics, Hillside Hall. Later, oral presentations of PhD scholars from Crop Protection 1 and 2, Crop Protection, and Social Science groups, and poster presentations by MSc scholars from Crop Improvement Group. We also have valedictory program to mark the conclusion of our exciting PG Annual Science Week 2024. This final event will celebrate the achievements, insights, and collaborations that have defined our week of exploration and discovery. Thank you all for your attention. We look forward to a series of engaging and informative presentations. All the best.
That's a great thing from co-host. Thank you very much. So we have 1 more minute to start, Dr. Arun. And I am very happy to announce that Director of Extension will be introducing you. And he is a social scientist. So that's the reason he is very much interested to be part of our celebrations. That is Science Week 2024. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kaba. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Dr. Arun K. Srinivasan is a professor of economics in the School of Business, Indiana University, Southeast, New Albany, USA. He is alumnus of US Bangalore and obtained his MSc in Agricultural Economics. He did a PhD in economics at University of Kentucky, Lexington. Presently, he is serving as coordinator for economics, finance, and business statistics at School of Business, Indiana University, Southeast. His expertise in the field of microeconomics, macroeconomics, business statistics, and applications of geographical information. Dr. Arun has published 21 peer-reviewed articles in trade, regional, national, and international journals in regional economics, economics of education, and environmental economics with the titles geography of unemployment in the Midwest during COVID-19 pandemic, a spatial analysis. Local economics and economic growth, does location matters. A spatial analysis in the Great Lakes region and sources of financial support and academic performance in economics, principles, and courses. Dr. Arun has presented research papers in 32 regional, national, and international conferences. He represented Indiana University Southeast campus on multiple Indiana University and statewide committees, chaired campus review committee for tenure and promotion, faculty senator at School of Business, Indiana University Southeast, and served as reviewer for professional journals in economics. Dr. Arun received multiple grants to develop new courses, attend conferences, and purchase data sets and software for research. He received Indiana University Trustee Teaching Award during 2008 and also appreciation of recognition during 2022 for his 20-year service at Indiana University Southeast. So, we welcome you, sir, for this PG Science Conference 2022-24, sorry.
Thank you very much, and honored to be talking to my alma mater, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. And thank you very much for your introduction. And as I said, yes, I'm a US alumni, and it's been a privilege for me to come talk to my students here and at least share my wisdom and at least help them to start their careers as they graduate probably next couple of months with their master's or a PhD. So with that said, let me start my presentation. So
Yeah,
can
you
I
can share your screen. Yeah, please.
let me share my screen. Okay. So can you guys see my screen here?
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Arun.
All right. So basically here, the theme was opportunities in scientific agriculture. That was assigned to me. And I thought, let me give a social scientist perspective because being an economist, I think it would make a lot more sense for me to talk from a social science, as well as I'm going to take a much different approach than what the title says. So here I'm going to talk about how you can find opportunities in the real world or in the business world, in the public sector or private sector, and how you can be prepared for those opportunities. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about those issues in a bit. So let me start with my background. Basically, I'm from Mulbagal. So Mulbagal, as you know, famous for Mulbagal dosa, but from a small town, just got my PUC back in 1987. After that, I moved into Bangalore as agriculture in agriculture university and had my BSc and MSc. And then in 1997, exactly to this date, 27 years ago, I came to the US to pursue my graduate school. And then in 2002, I started to work as a PhD candidate, started working in this current institution as a visiting faculty. And today I'm here as a professor of economics in 22 years. Okay, so I'm going to start talking about this and also explain the process of how I got in here and what made me to choose this career. Yeah. So let me start with this first question. Right. So again, I hope Dr. Karbas told you that it will be interactive. So this is something that I've been trying for the first time. I want to see like there's a question here that talks about what do you want to do after your graduation? Again, you are graduating now. Like, what are your plans for career? Just one word answer. You can scan this QR code, and then once the question pops up, just type in your answer. It starts populating here. Okay. So we have just a minute. Okay. Let's do it very quickly. hope you have scanned the code and type in your answers and submit that.
Yeah, things are being done, Arun. Thank you. That's good.
Okay, so
Dear students, have you scanned? Are you able to follow the instruction? Please respond. We want some response, please.
So we are logging, sir, because of Microsoft.
oh,
Okay.
you have to log in as well.
Ramesh,
Sir. Yeah.
Ramesh,
Morning. Hello.
hey, there are some issues in logging in. With some difficulties, we could log in. I think the students also must be facing this issue.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
It got disconnected suddenly, but we are in now. We are in now.
Okay. So
Okay. Huh?
we'll wait for few 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah.
1 or 2 minutes. Yes. I think now the people are getting in.
Yeah, Arun, you can continue the storyline, and the
Okay.
moment they get it, probably they will help us.
okay, so, and also there was another question. Following this, what's the most important aspect from candidate for you to find a job? Like, what do you think is the most important thing that you should have to find a job? Okay, so these were the two questions. So again, probably technology is where sometimes kills us. So unfortunately, it has happened here. But let me talk about this. Okay, so basically, from a faculty in a business school, what I think are the five most important characters for anyone to find a job, to succeed, are academics. Number two, not to be scared to try things and not successful. Getting out of your comfort zone is the third aspect. Soft skills and networking. So these are the five important things that I think it's very, very critical for you as a graduating student to find a job in a business world or in a private sector or a public sector. Okay, right? So let me talk about how these five things has really helped me to where I am today. Okay, so let me start with academics. Okay, so as we know, if you look back the speakers that you had in the past couple of days, we had Dr. Ramegoda, Dr. Prakash, Dr. Many more speakers. What do you think one was the common thing that was common across everyone? What was something that was common across everyone? Well, number one, you notice that they're all are agriculture graduates, right? They're agriculture graduates. That's number one. Okay. And if you look at their career choices, it did go from novelists like Professor Ganeshaya, who spoke on the very first day, to scientist Prakash, to global leads, to civil servants, or even if you want to follow or be idle Dr. Rajkumar and follow his principles and go back to farm, watching this Bangarada Manusha movie to become a farmer, yes, there is an option too. Okay, so which means this degree that we have here that you earned, that you plan to earn, probably it's the most versatile degree that you have come across. Okay, it's very versatile, and it provides a very strong foundation for whatever the career that you choose, right? So again, if you talk to anyone, okay, talk to your parents, talk to your in fact your professors here, okay, ask them, like, how many of their friends are in agriculture, how many of their friends are in different fields. Probably you will find loads and loads of them from this hardcore agriculture to defense, so on and so forth. Okay, right? So the foundation, the degree that you're earning here, okay, so that's a very, very versatile degree, and that can really help you to find career from various regions of the world, regions of the India. So it all depends on, like, how proactive you are and how you can use those opportunities to get those jobs. Okay. So coming to my own story of being a science graduate and how I became an economist, it's quite interesting, because if you look at, again, I was a PUC science graduate, had PCMB, and again, I'm talking back in 1980s, okay, when I first joined here. So if you're a science graduate, your options are pretty much you have to go to doctor, medical school, or engineering. So if you don't go to those two schools, then your option is come to agriculture. So that's how I landed in agriculture, right? And agriculture being so versatile, basically had an opportunity to take classes that were so unique for me. Think about sociology, economics, psychology, food and nutrition, meteorology, English, right? Which is something that's unheard, okay? And I had an opportunity to take these classes. And one of the person that really influenced me to become an economist was Dr. S. Bislaya, right? So he was not my teacher, but he was filling in for my basic economics class when my professor was on vacation on a particular class. Remember, back then it was 1:15 in the afternoon. We used to live in GKBK hostel. We used to eat food, come back and sleep in the classroom. Okay, but he came into this class and explained this concept of law of diminishing marginal utility. Like, he just nailed it such a way that was the first impression that I got, that wow, there is a field called economics and I want to pursue that. Okay, so that was the beginning of my career, or at least my inclination or love towards economics. And that's how I started to pursue, get an agricultural economics major, and then get a master's in agricultural economics, and eventually get a PhD in economics. Okay, so just to tell you, this is an example of the versatility of the degree, right? So even though you may be a plant breeder, or you may be a plant physiologist, or you may be agricultural extensionist, remember, the world is very wide. Okay, so use your knowledge here and try to apply, and then try to find a career out of that. Okay, so that's my first point here. Your academics, you're a solid foundation here, so you're just going to build or explore for opportunities and then find one. So you will be successful there. The second one that I think it's okay. Before that, if you look at thanks to AI, so when I searched for what are some of the scientific jobs in agriculture, 4 areas popped up: precision agriculture, sustainable practices, climate adaptation, and marketing strategies. If you just look at these broad areas, what do you see? Basically, these broad areas are so interdisciplinary. In the sense, if you just look at precision agriculture, it's just not agronomy. You're looking at data analytics, remote sensing, using maps, using weather data set, and using different technologies. That's where you can start working in this area of precision agriculture. Or sustainable practices. Think about climate adaptation. I think we are in a crux where climate is playing a huge role with respect to agriculture, with respect to cropping patterns and these natural calamities. And now it's a bigger challenge for scientists, agriculture scientists, to come up with solutions for this, just not by working in silos, but working interdisciplinary, where they have to bring in multiple branches together to come up with a solution, right? And then also thinking about strategies for marketing. How can you bring the food from farmer to the consumer, right? And again, we do hear a lot of issues with respect to supply chain and food storage. So basically, when I looked at your research presentations, the topics were just amazing. And what you have accomplished, what your research, what are the research that you have done here, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Okay. So what that, again, if it can meet one of these opportunities that I've listed here, fantastic. But if it's not, there's nothing to worry, because you have honed a skill where you can transfer those skills to one of these and then find a job, right? So that's where opportunities are there. And especially in this day and age, okay, we cannot work in silos. So you got to think about opportunities where you can work in teams, work together, integrate technology, integrate knowledge from different fields to come up with solutions. So that's where there is a lot of room, a lot of opportunities for especially this generation to go either work in a public or a private sector. Right. So to accomplish, again, if you have some knowledge, good. If you don't have it, what do you do? So that's where my second issue comes in, which is, don't be scared or afraid to fail. Okay. Now, remember, whenever you start learning something new, it does not come easily. There will be struggles, there will be failures, there will be setbacks. Okay. So this is when you start learning, in the sense you have your PhDs or masters in your hand. So everything that you learned was in a very controlled environment. But once you step into the real world, either private or public sector, so that's where the learning starts. Because think about different pressures that you come across and how you can cope with these pressures and how you can manage and provide your finished product to your employer. Okay, so when the learning starts, again, it won't be smooth. There'll be always ups and downs. Okay, so how well you can tackle that, how well you can absorb those, how well you can learn from those failures. So that's the bigger challenge that you're going to come across, and that's where you need to be ready for it. Okay, so learn from failures. Okay, if you fail, don't worry about it. Okay, you can always learn. Okay, I can give you multiple examples. I'm going to give you one or two examples where I learned from my failure, and then where am I now? Okay, number one. Again, I'm going to go back to my undergrad. So when I came from a small town, did my undergrad, and I looked at end of first year, believe it or not, my GPA was 2.6. So I was following my brother, who was a gold medalist in 1981. So when I met, people knew on campus that I am Ravindran's brother. And when they looked at my GPA and they said it was 2.6, they said, Yenappa neenu, nimmanna nodidre gold medalist, neen nodidre 2.6. Naachike agalva. That was kind of very humiliating for me. At the same time, that was a wake-up call. I said, you know what? Hey, there is something wrong. It's not that I don't have potential. Let me start working on it. Okay. So that's when I switched the flip. I flipped the switch and worked hard. And by the end of my undergraduate, my GPA was respectable. It was 3.1. Okay. So that was the first learning thing that I learned. Okay. Failure, again, don't take it hard. It's a setback. That setback is good and you can learn from that. Okay. So after that, did well. Okay. So then went to the master's program. We did well. And at the end of the master's program, again, I was applying for jobs, and I had an opportunity to interview with ITC. So I went to the interview and they said, okay, let's talk about your research. So I said I was doing my research on agroforestry in Western Ghats, and so I was interviewing for ITC company. So basically they said, oh, Mr. So-and-so, Arun, well, we don't grow trees or we don't grow agroforestry here. Okay, so how can you help us? Okay, right. I didn't know what to answer them. Okay, I think that was a failure. Okay, so I didn't get the job. But what I learned after that was basically I had an ability to tell them that how I can transfer the knowledge that I gained in my master's in their business world. Okay, right. If I could have done it, so probably I would have, I would have done it ended up in ITC, and my life would have been much different than what I'm today, right? But that failure taught me to make sure that whatever you learn, try to present it, try to make sure that the knowledge that you hone is not something that you can prove that it's transferable, it's applicable to the real world. Okay, so that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned. Okay? So all the failures that you come across, do remember it makes you resilient, it makes you strong, it helps you to face adversity, and you can face any challenge seamlessly. Right, so that's the second thing that I learned. So always try. Okay? Try. If you fail, don't worry. You can always do it. Okay? Third one, get out of your comfort zone. I think this is quite important. Let me tell you why. Okay, because we are so used to working in our comfort zone. We don't like pressure. We want everything to be fine. And if somebody asks us to do something that's not possible, we just throw our hands off and say, you know what, I don't want to do it, okay, because it's not in my domain or it's not in my forte, right? But that's something that, at least in this day and age, you may want to think about pushing yourself, right? So push yourself, because that's one of the ways where you can learn, grow, and then achieve greater heights in your professional careers. Okay. So think about that. Start small and taste the success. And once you taste the success, so then you can start taking big. Okay. So let me give some examples here. Okay. So basically, I started PhD. I finished my PhD. I was working in, my thesis was in environmental economics. I was looking at eco-labeling and how consumers were willing to pay for recycled products, and whether they preferred or regular products. What was the premium that they were paying? Went very well. Then we spoke about, did research about environmental justice, everything. Because I was in an R1 school, research school, where research was very important. But when I started my job was in a teaching school where teaching was the primary focus and research was, something complementary. So basically, and as I was working in a small regional university, so I wanted to focus more on, okay, how the region can impact the universities, okay, or what the universities can help the region to grow. And that's where I started moving towards regional economics, focusing mostly on income growth and unemployment rate. Okay. So even here, when we again, this is where I'm trying to say that you need to push your boundary, because when we do this type of analysis, again, if you're an economist or in agricultural economics, you know that we use traditional models to do this analysis and try to explain everything at average. But what I did was I said, let me push it. Okay. So we did something beyond that. We wanted to look at what did average, not averages. Let's look at more extremes. Okay. So why the unemployment rate in some counties were very high and some counties were very less, and what was the factor that mattered? Okay, we try to use this, what we call this quantile regression approach, which was kind of quite unique. That was something that was not, not we commonly use. So that's something new. I pushed my envelope there. I said, let me just do this one, right? And once we started looking at it, there was a different results were quite interesting to see, like, why some counties were bad and some counties were good. What try to explain everything. And then this led us to move into the next paper, which made me push, which is local economies and economic growth do spatial, do location matter. So fortunately, during my graduation, I did take a course on geographical information system, which was just it was a elective course. Okay. I just liked it. I liked the map. So I thought, well, that course really came in handy here, because I could really apply some of the tools that I learned in the course and then try to develop this analysis and do quite a bit of interesting work here. So in this work, what we did was we looked at, like, what was the distribution of per capita income across the Midwestern states, right? And we broke it down to different time periods and looked at, in some time period it was high, some time period was low. And also we noticed there was clustering, in the sense there were counties or districts, what we call in India, there was clustering of that in one areas, in other areas it was not clustering with different pattern. There were some counties that were high, it had low counties. So we noticed some spatial effect and then try to analyze like, what caused it and try to explain this, okay? So all I could do here was try to explain this phenomena and show like, why we can bring in new technique, spatial analysis, and try to explain this thing. So once I started honing this technique, eventually it led into about 6 or 7 papers that I could use this technology and work towards that, okay? So that's, again, I was pushing my boundary because I was just not comfortable using this spatial analysis technique, but I had this opportunity, I worked on it, and then it really paying off a huge thing, okay? So what I'm trying to say here is you push your envelope, okay? Try to take chances, right? Even if you fail, don't worry. But again, the payoffs are very huge and it creates a lot of wonders, okay? So this is where like, I could make some impact in my research. And even though, remember, as I said, we are a teaching school, but still as a research, it was valued and it was encouraged and it was recognized, okay? So that was one of the big things that I did, okay? The second thing that really pushed me where I am today is teaching. So teaching is quite interesting because I never knew until I came here that teaching depends on learning styles. Yeah, because again, back when I was trained in India or when we were in India, it was pretty much a lecture. But later on here, when I came, I realized that if you have to teach, you got to teach based on how your students learn. There are 3 types of learning techniques. One is audio learning, other one is visual learning, and third one is kinesthetic learning. So audio learning is our lectures, okay, where I lecture, you listen, right? Visual learning is basically you have to draw pictures or write on the board or draw graphs, pictures, so that students will look at it and then learn. And the third one is kinesthetic, where it's a hands-on, okay? So you have to make them do something in the class, right? So that was the third type of learning. That was a challenge for me because I was never used to that. So what I did was basically, as we were pushed into this learning, make sure that we have to teach students based on learning style, and we are a teaching school. That really made me to attend some conferences, get some training, so where I can use active teaching techniques to integrate activities and movies and music, so that way I can address all different types of learners, okay? So this integration helped me to make my teaching much better, and eventually I was recognized with a Trusted Teaching Award back in 2008. So this is where I said it's important what you do, and then it's important to push the envelope. Last challenge here is also after 2010, markets for online education picked up in the US quite a bit. Okay, there was a huge competition for traditional universities where we believed in chalk, paper, and pencil, and then we have these universities, Phoenix universities, where they try to offer online degrees. Okay, we start to lose students. So there was pressure from us, from vice chancellors, from presidents that, hey, start converting courses to online. So now there are certain courses where you can easily convert it to online courses. But if you want to convert a economics course or a statistics course to online course, if it's asynchronous, where students do things at their own, that was a much bigger challenge. So again, because we're shoved to a corner, we said, let's do it. So we had to use different technologies, different video tools, and different graphic tools to draw graphs, make these lectures as personal as possible, so that students can just sit anywhere they want and follow that. So we had to create new lecture videos, create some discussion forums, so on and so forth, so that we ensured that students had the same experience, whatever they had if they were to be in the face-to-face context. And cheating is very rampant in online class. So we had to reassess how we teach. We cannot just write a straightforward question. So we got to add some questions where they had to understand and apply those concepts, so that there is no way they can find the answers for those questions in online or on the internet. So these were some of the challenges that we faced, where we had to get on board and develop these online classes. And of course, COVID-19, that really pushed us where everything moved to online. Things made a lot more easier. But what I spoke about is pre-19 COVID, pre-COVID. So make sure, any skills that you learn, or if you have an opportunity to learn a skill, make sure to get on it, right? So get on it and make your employer feel that you are indispensable, that they cannot replace you. Okay. So develop those skill set, hone those skill set that it is very essential that they cannot live without you. Okay. So that's one of the ways where you can survive, where we can grow and you can prosper in this both public and private sector. So this is my third topic. Fourth one, networking is very important. Okay. So even here, I have question, unfortunately, with the technology. Let me just, move forward. So basically, what are your plans to get a job? Right. So how can you get a job? So I think traditionally what we do is that we ask people to, just look for advertisement, or look for, go for an interview, or ask some references, so on and so forth. Okay, right? That's what we generally do, look for advertisement rather than being more proactive or more reactive for any job offerings, okay, right? And then the second question was like, how many of you have a professional networking page? Raise your hand, okay, I can see from the camera. Like LinkedIn or Google Scholar, right? Cool, I can see some hands going up. Please make sure one of the primary requirements for you to be successful to find a job is having this professional networking page, right? So why is it important? Because once you have a professional networking page, what you try to do is that you're going to develop this huge networking, right? So you develop some of those connections, okay, relationships, opportunities, contacts, right? Remember, in this day and age, you don't want to wait for the opportunity to knock on your door. So you have to look out for opportunities and go knock on the opportunity's door. So how do you know that there is a job there? How do you know that some firm is looking out for some specific skill set, right? How do you know, how do you showcase that you have the skills so that they want you to hire you? That's where networking would come into play. LinkedIn is one of the good source where it's free. Just log on, populate your information, and also highlight some of the skills that you have learned. Okay, showcase them, what you have done with those skill set, right? And then reach out to them. So that can really help you to find this job. Remember, sometimes all you need is a reference, that's all. If you know somebody inside, it's not an influence. Remember, influence is different, okay, where you're going to influence somebody to give a job. So here you have the talent, you have the skills, everything, but you want to have an opportunity where you can interview and prove your worth and make those firms to hire you, right? So that's where LinkedIn comes into play. So please have a LinkedIn page and then input all the skills that you have learned there. That's number one. Number two, reach out to some of the alumni in those LinkedIn pages. Those alumni could be, again, if you don't know anyone from your department, ask your professor, ask them, like, could you please help me to contact them? Because those alumni can come back and, they would love to give back to the campus and they would love to hire you, okay? Because if somebody has to reach out to them, and if your professor recommends you that, hey, I have a good student, why don't you hire me? So if I'm a employer, I would like to hire somebody who I get referenced by a professor rather than me trying to interview somebody else. Okay, so develop this professional networking skill set because that can really help you. And in fact, my first job was through this networking because I got my job through my professor who knew somebody else. And then when they advertised the job, I didn't even know that advertised the job. So they reached out to my professor and they said, hey, do you know anyone who can come and teach? I just said, sure, I can go. I interviewed to this position 22 years ago as a visiting faculty. And today I'm a professor in the same school, same department. Okay, so that's all it is. So networking is very important. So please develop those networking skill sets. And again, I have a few more questions. I'm going to skip that. And then when we talk about this networking, remember there are a few things that departments can do as well, right? It's just not students. Okay? So department has a major role in here. Please invite some of your students to the department. Let them come and meet and talk to them. Okay, I'm in the US, and every time I come, I get invited by Dr. Gracie or Dr. Nattu. They always come and invite me. They say, come talk to my students, right? That's good. I love to talk to them. Please also invite some of them. They are in Bangalore or in India, because not everyone will go to the US, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them will end up working in India. So at least you want to invite them and let them come and talk to you, because it's always good to hear from somebody who is in the professional field, come talk about job opportunities or what they can do or what the new skills they can hone so that they can find the job. And that's much more effective than you, professor, being talking to them, right? So that's one thing that I learned here, and I strongly encourage you to invite them. Reach out to them, ask for internships, okay? Ask for them shadowing, ask them opportunities for shadowing. Let them take your student, okay? Let them shadow for free or just a nominal pay for a month or a 2 month, because the experience that they gain there is much different than whatever the experience that you're going to teach them in the lab, because that's very important. And you guys are great mentors. Okay? Again, I see my mentor here, Gracie, Dr. Gracie, who really mentored me back when I was in my master's. And I should also talk about Dr. Chandrakant, who was a great mentor, as well as Dr. Parshimurthy, because they are these people who even now I remember, because the way they shaped my career. Okay, especially talk about Parshimurthy, because he's the one who taught me how to write letters. Okay, the soft skills. Okay, how to communicate with people, how to write official letters. Okay, he was the one who taught me how to. I mean, that's something again the school does not teach. It's something as a mentor you can teach them, right? And also think about conducting mock interviews, because again, students, even I was in the same shoes back when I graduated in 2002 from Kentucky. And before I went to an interview, my boss took me over and he interviewed me for about half an hour. Okay? So he started asking me questions and trying to answer, help me how to answer, and then how to make sure that I impress my interview board. Okay? So even here, I think you guys can do that as professors, as mentors. Please do that. Conduct mock interviews, help them to acquire those soft skills so that they can be successful in the job or in the opportunities that they're presented to them. Okay. And then soft skills, again, there are many, but focus on two things. Learn how to communicate. That's very important. Okay, writing skills are very important. Remember, okay, you can be good in technology using technical skill, but how well you can convey those technical skills into a common man, the writing skills are much more important. Okay, so that's where I want you guys to focus on those soft skills and work in teams. Remember, when you go to the private or public sector, you are working in teams. Okay, you are not working in silos. So you should learn to work in team, take leadership roles, adapt to the situation. It's not that everything will be smooth the way you think, but you should be in a position to adapt. So these are some of the skills that you can learn as you are going through this program. And finally, as a students, how do you stand out in a crowded market? Right now, again, this is the next thing that you're going to do. You're going to start working to find a job. Okay, so here, tailor your resumes. Okay, right. So do not send a generic resume to your employer, to all the opportunities that you have. Tailor it and make sure it's very specific to that particular job. Write a cover letter that's very specific to the job. Right. Create a portfolio. Show them what you have learned. Okay, display your projects, show what kind of skills that you have acquired and how you have used them to find out in this master's thesis or PhD thesis, and how you can transfer them to any scenario that's presented in the work. Okay, get those certificates, get those skill sets. Okay, remember, skills that you learn here are very minimal, but once you go to the real world, you're going to learn a lot more skills. So there are a lot of opportunities to learn those skills. If you have an opportunity, there are a lot of things that you could do. So get those skill sets and get those letters of recognition too. If somebody says you've done a good job, ask them to write a letter, include that. Okay. Network. Talk to people, okay? Reach out to them, because that's the only way that you can have the HR department to see your resume, because networking matters a lot. And then finally, knock on the opportunities door. So don't wait for the opportunity to knock on you, knock on the opportunities door. So that way you will reach your goal as much quicker as possible relative to somebody who waits for opportunities to come through. And finally, final tips: learning should never stop. Remember, push yourself to outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't wait for an opportunity to knock on your door. And networking is very critical. So even now, I network with a lot of people because I bring in, it helps me to develop my skill sets as well as my connections. So this is something that you'll be doing for the rest of your life. That's all I have. So I'll be open for questions.
That's great, Arun. Very nice. Thank you. I request DOE or DE to say a few words before we take our further queries. Over to you, sir. DE sir.
Yeah, Dr. Nataraj, I am is Nataraj?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Nataraj. Sir,
Yeah.
good morning. Good morning, Dr. Arun, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning. In fact, we belongs to 1982 batch, 82-86. I think vaguely I remember your face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, vaguely see. Thank you very much for excellent presentation and also very inspiring talk, especially for the postgraduate students. In fact, the most the important the part of your presentation was the highlighting the 5 essential skills or the factors which are responsible for success of any person. They are very important. So in fact, if the students they concentrate on these factors, definitely they can achieve a lot. So they can follow our proud alumni like you, sir. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation to address postgraduate students and also sharing your thoughts with our faculty members.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nataraj?
Thank you
Over
so
to
much, sir,
DE.
for your comments and remarks. I request DE, Director of Extension, to say a few words before we pick up the question and answer.
Yes, thank you, sir, for your excellent presentation again. It is a very logical presentation, also inspiring for the students to find the opportunities in the open market vertically. The role of soft skills vertically in the open market play a vital role. Even though you're economist, you touch the behavioral science also. It is very much required for the present scenario for the students. Thank you very much, sir, once again. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks, sir. Arun, there are a few queries.
Sure.
Some of them I might write to you. I need your help to address them.
Sure.
One a quick question from the group here is that, can you please list out the best order of global opportunity from the graduates of FOM universities, or for the graduates of FOM universities?
Definitely, there are plenty of opportunities. Okay, I mean, remember, okay, going back to 1997 when I started. Okay, so pretty much everything was paper and pencil. Okay, we relied on postal services to send mails, send applications, and do everything. But now in this digital age, and with a huge US alumni network throughout the world, okay, it's very, very easy for you to find a job, find any opportunities. Okay, so all you have to do is, just reach out. Again, get into LinkedIn. Okay, reach out and ask any US alumni. Okay, hey, I'm interested in this opportunity here. Okay, so could you please help me? Right, I'm pretty sure no one would say no for you. Right, so again, as I said, everything should come on you. So don't wait for some professor here or somebody here to come to GKVK and ask them, there are opportunities here, so why don't you send students? Instead, reach out to the professors, okay? Because sometimes, we don't advertise. We don't advertise, and we don't publicize. So it's purely based on this networking and knowing people's, and that's how we have, you develop these opportunities and then try to come over. So specifically, if you're looking at any specific area, any specific field, I mean, there are, again, I can talk in economics, okay, because that's where I have some expertise. So probably I can talk more opportunities in economics. But now do remember, okay, so we have alumni from various fields, okay, so there are opportunities, so reach out to them. So again, they'll be more than happy to help you to find whatever you need. It could be either getting a postdoc, or even it could be getting into PhD programs. Okay, so again, we can help as much as we can.
Thank you very much, Arun. So another query is that in the modern era, all of us are aware that AI is taking over many things, and self-driven car too, all kind of things. So drivers will not be required probably. So drivers will lose the job. So that way, in this modern era, as an economist, what is your future for so-called our graduates with respect to certain jobs which can be managed by AI system, AI ML model systems?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that we are also grappling here, okay, because one of the ways where you can distinguish, where you can become indispensable for your employer is to hone certain skills that cannot be replaced by AI, right? So there are some mundane things that they do, right? For example, checkout, right? Or things where AI can do, okay? So again, those kind of jobs, again, don't even go for it. Even economic modeling, okay, so it can do everything, right? So there are AIs, the program, they can do it for you, okay? Now, you got to think about honing certain skills, or where you can integrate multiple disciplines and then try to have that skill set where you can become irreplaceable, okay? So that's something that you're going to focus on. You got to think about learning those things, okay? Remember, okay, you just cannot sit on silos and think about, okay, I'm just going to do this, okay? So you have to start branching out. You got to start branching out. You're going to start adding new skills to your repository, so that way you can make sure that you have the job, okay? So even now, I don't know how much of it is, but I think a lot of things are learned through WhatsApp universities, or even YouTube universities too, because I think they are pretty much replacing our colleges and universities too. Okay, but still, we have the upper hand, because again, whatever we do it here, okay, there is some authenticity. There's something can oath for us, right? So where you can trust, because it's something that's been researched, I think that's been proved, okay? So that's where you come into play here, right? So all I would say is that I don't know what will happen 10 years from now, 5 years from now, but as long as you can have some skill set that are transferable, and as long as you are open to learning, and based on how things change, you are good, okay? You don't have to worry about losing your job, right? You can definitely find a job, and you can survive, it can grow, and become a pioneer in that particular area.
Yeah, thank you, Arun. There is a question from our colleagues here. So now in this modern era of rapid changing science and technology and knowledge generation and networking, how mentors are to be mentored now? We have a huge responsibility to mentor. So that's a question from my colleagues.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the ways the mentors should do is mentors should get out of their comfort zone. Okay, so I spoke about students getting out of comfort zone, but here now it's the mentors have to get out of the comfort zone, right? So one of the ways that you could do is that start small. Okay? Don't start big. Okay, so for example, I started about networking, right? So again, I have seen a couple of LinkedIn pages, but again, go back and populate that LinkedIn pages. Keep it up to date, right? And then reach out to your former students, right? One or two of them. Reach out to them. Let them reach out to you, because if they know, if I get a request from my professor through LinkedIn, I'll be first thing I do is respond to them, right, or call them, because there is something that they want it from me. Okay, so none of your students will say no for it. Okay, so start small. Okay, develop that link first, and then invite them, bring them to campus. Okay, right? remember your PG seminars we have, right? PG seminars every Fridays, we used to have Fridays or Saturdays. Okay. So one of the seminars once in a month, just bring one of the alumni, let him come and talk. That's all. Okay. You don't be there. Thing is, you don't sit with your students because again, students will not be very free to talk to them. Okay. You step out. Okay. Let the students talk to them, right? Half an hour, 45 minutes. Okay, right? Buy them lunch. That's all. That's all they care. Right. So feed them. That's how we start. Okay. So that's the way you start mentoring. Okay. Right. So get out of your comfort zone. Start small. Right. And also then you can start growing up. Right. So again, we do a lot of things here. Okay. I mean, I don't know whether I have enough time, but I just try to do one thing. Okay. So we call something a speed networking. So basically, we invite all the alumni from our school come to campus here, and we give them lunch. Okay, so and we have about 20 or 25 round tables, and we're going to make each alumni sit in those round tables, and we send 4 students to each one of those tables. Okay, so they randomly talk about their job, what they did, what they do. It's 5 minutes. That's all, not more than that. Okay. So after 5 minutes, once they are done, then we blow a whistle, and then those students will move to a different table. Okay. So, 1 hour, 15 minutes time, they'll get to talk about at least 4 or 5 different employers. Okay. So this is how we try to network with my students. So we tell our students, you know what, now you know at least 5 people in your area. So how easy for you to find an internship? You just tell them, send a message through LinkedIn. Hey, I met you so and so, or they'll give you a business card. Send them a note or email. I met you there. So please, I'm looking for an opportunity. Can you help me to find an internship? That's how it starts. Okay. Right. So again, UAS alumni network is very big. Okay. So we just need to pull them in. That's all. Right. Pull them in. They would love to come and do it. And again, they can do wonders. Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to put down what you guys do. You guys do a very good job in preparing those hardcore, technical knowledge. Okay. But the soft skills, the networking, probably universities will not do that. Okay. It's what, alumni do in the private sector, and they can do a much better job, and we can leave that to them and just bring them in. Okay. So I think that's where you start. And then once you do that, you can just grow that. Okay. So then once it becomes part of the cycle, it's much easier.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Arun, for this. Well, it is a time for us to also get ready to mentor our students. So training the trainer is also important.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I will have more queries, and we will connect and see whether we can work together to improve our skill set also, so that we can hold the attention in the classroom as well as outside the boundaries of the classroom.
Absolutely.
So classroom,
Anytime.
now everybody says we are not there to give the information to inspire them, and we have to teach outside the boundaries of the syllabus also. So that's the mandate for us now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And as you mentioned, it's time for our students to knock on the opportunities door, not wait for the opportunity. I appreciate that kind of statement and thinking. Thank you so much. You are from a small CGP of 2.6. You are a big professor in the US university. That shows the quality of whatever the training or exposure USB has given to the people like you. Thank you very much for coming and addressing online. And I know it's midnight for you. You must be sleeping. We disturbed your sleep. We are extremely sorry for that. But we
No.
benefited, Arun.
I mean, please, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. Even as I told you, it's not, I don't wake up. I won't be up every day at 12 o'clock, but today is such a nice cause. Okay. I get a chance to talk to you guys, talk to, my alma mater, which I don't think the opportunity cost is nothing more than talking to you guys. Okay. It was a pleasure, and it's an honor to have me for this Science Week. And thank you very much for thinking about me, as well as bringing me here. And again, as I said, please reach out to me if you need anything. I'll be more than happy to provide as much input as possible, as much help as possible that I could do for especially the next generation to succeed in their professional careers.
Thank you so much for the kind words as well as your passion to help us. Thank you.
Thank you.
With this, we will be concluding, but if I request DOE, Director of Education, Professor Narayan Swamy, to say one word, there is an opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you very much. So in fact, we have bothered you at this late hour. Thank you very much. In fact, your talk is really inspiring, wonderful. In fact, even it has opened eyes for us also. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we invite you to US Bangalore. Please make it. So
Sure.
whenever you find time, and also visit your hometown, please visit US Bangalore. Let us once again interact physically with the students and faculty members. So thank you
I
very
sure
much.
will. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very much, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
He is
Thank you,
always
sir.
keen to visit GKVK every time whenever he comes to India.
Yeah.
He gives a kind of small priming for our students. This time, probably when he was traveling, it was not possible because of short window. But
Okay.
I welcome you again, Arun, to USB.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be there. I won't miss again. As I said, this time it was very short window and had family and kids. We had to travel a lot. So, no, again, as you know, I met you on the way to airport. Okay. So, yes, but definitely yes, US is always in my list and I always, would like to visit campus and at least get that GKVK gali, so.
Bunny sir. Yeah. Now it has become a Akshi-rich campus. Yeah. Please come.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Sir, shall we conclude then?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Arun. We will conclude and the participants and students will go to a parallel sessions now. So thank you so much and see you soon.
Thanks. Thanks. Good night. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So the students and participants may kindly move to parallel session, online talk. Hello, Ganesh Murthy, are you there? Can you just make an announcement to make sure that everybody moves to their respective sessions?